Hey, okay, I'm live. I'm going to give it a second for everybody to log on. Again, I come to you doing our astrological energies of the weekend. Yay, Bronwyn! Hey, okay, Chelsea, Michaela, Nate. So happy you all logged on. I have like a lot of info. It is a big weekend, so I'm going to jump right into it. And the intention of today's live is to give you a heads up on the astrological energies, as they are powerful ones this weekend. Astrology is a mapping of patterns. It is the energy that we're experiencing collectively is what I'm going to go over today. And we can all admit that like the energy we feel today is very different than the energy that we felt like 3 months ago. So, wow, so nice to see so many friends log on. This is incredible. I really hope that this is going to give you some guidance and some energy where you can feel safe within yourself, hey? So in astrology, there's 12 archetypes. And the 12 archetypes are what they call the zodiac signs, or the signs. I like to call them archetypes because as humans, we experience all 12 of them in our human experience. But based on our natal chart, so that is a screenshot of the sky the moment that you were born. That is your natal birth chart. So depending on that chart, you might have more experience with certain archetypes or energies more than others. So the way I describe it is the inner planets are us, and the outer planets are our teachers. And the middle world planets are our teachers in human form. So that's kind of a general outline of how astrology starts to work. So each planet actually embodies an energy of a certain archetype, of a certain sign or zodiac sign. And each planet embodies the energy of the different archetypes. So once you understand them and you understand the pattern, you can really see how the energies unfold. So getting to know the different archetypes is really a good place to start. Getting to know the planets and what archetype, what planet, how do I say that? The archetype that that planet is ruled by, that's it, is going to be super useful to understand astrology. And the amount of knowledge that there is for astrology is like never ending. This is a life journey. Never get too hard about where you're at on the journey or how much you understand, because every time I think I know something, I realize I know nothing. So I'm sharing you with the space of consciousness that I have been able to get to. So thanks for tuning in and receiving this insight here. So your human monkey brain, I often will say this kind of statement, your human monkey brain can do whatever you want. So this is not, astrology is not about a certain destiny, and it's not about prediction. It's a certain energy that is present, and we can do whatever we want with that energy. We can be in flow with it. We can resist it. So this is a really good thing to start to pay attention to. Well, I want to wave to everybody. Hi, guys. Personally, I have found when I tune into the energy that's currently present, I end up being in flow. My life kind of just works out. And when I say works out, doesn't mean it's good. It just means I am learning the lessons that I've come to learn, and I'm starting to get the most out of this life. And so the only reason I can figure out why we've come to Earth, why our souls have chosen to come, is to learn. So when I'm in flow and I stay in tune with that energy, I'm learning the lessons I've come to learn. And that's as much as I have figured out. So during this chat, as I dive into the energy, please start dropping me comments. Or if anything that I'm saying is really resonating with you, or you're like not too sure about what I'm exactly saying, please feel free to engage. And then at the end of it, I'll just have an open discussion. You can ask me any astrology questions and we'll dive in from there. And if any of you do want a more personal reading, I can do your astrological chart. I'm just doing a few a week, so you can DM me if that you would like to kind of dig into what's going on for you personally during this time, because each one of us has a different experience. Okay, I think I just went over these 2 pages. Wow. Okay. Okay, so inner planets, your sun, moon, Mercury, how you think, Mars, the masculine energy, Venus, the feminine energy, and the moon, your emotional energy, are your inner planets. Outer planets, our teachers, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, and those are the three that are going to be at play in this weekend's forecast. So today we're going to start off with an energy which is called Neptune squares the sun. Neptune is our teacher, and he teaches us about dreams and creativity and being in a space of God and spirituality, and it's super flowy and creative. And it's having a difficult conversation with the sun, which represents our ego, our fuel. So this means that there's going to be some sort of disillusionment. Neptune is like putting on drunk goggles. And it's going to have some sort of disillusionment, and it's going to have a difficult conversation with our fuel source. It's going to have a hard time to be motivated, and we might feel confused about where to focus our energy. You will also be more susceptible to some psychological and health issues, and events or other people can cause confusion and disappointment, which may force you to battle against the odds. So know that there is an energy of kind of blurriness around your ego. And this is globally for everyone. So now Neptune is also conjuncting Mars. So what that means is Neptune, when we look at the sky, Neptune and Mars are in perfect alignment. Conjunction means that they kind of look like they're sitting on top of each other. And this is the most, when something is conjunct, that has the most power. So Neptune, being kind of like confused in La La Land, is conjunct the god of war. This is a big reason why I wanted to start having these conversations. The god of war is now getting confused. So if you are very sensitive or get scared easily, then you might want to take some precautions. If you are self-confident or consider yourself to be self-aware, and maybe even evolved, then this energy could be useful because you could charge forwards by tapping into creativity. I feel like because of the way Neptune teaches us, that we could get confused on how we're supposed to charge forwards. So if you feel like you have some drunk goggles on, not the time to be charging forwards with those on. But you could charge forwards through creativity and expression, because that is what Neptune is so great for. Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Chris. Just a note, Carolyn and I did the Shamanic Astrology course in Bali, which was life-changing. So lovely to see you on here, Carolyn. You're in England, right? London? Yeah, something like that. So Neptune. Now we understand Neptune is our teacher of dreams, creativity, and confusion. So having some tough conversations with Neptune today. Another aspect that's happening today is Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron represents an energy of somewhere where we have deep pain. It's like the deepest pain that we've experienced. And within Chiron, going into that pain, it causes actually the space for the greatest healing. So today, Chiron is having a difficult conversation with Mercury, how we think, how we communicate. So in how we're thinking or how we're communicating with others is through a source of deep wounds and deep pain. And this is going to be here, and it's still going to be present for the next 2 days. Yes, good time for drunk goggles and artistic expression. Yes, totally. But just be careful about how you can use those wounds to express yourself in a way to get a deeper understanding from others, which would be useful in a time like this. Or you could tap into your wounds and say some stuff that that you're thinking out of this space of like deep-seated angst. So be conscious of the wound and how you're thinking and communicating it, because it's the most useful tool to heal and to help heal others. The wounded healer makes communications and our thoughts painful. Communication and thought processing sector is going through we went through this. It might be a painful process to come to the realizations of our privilege or lack of. I will say that again during this time. Chiron squaring Mercury. It may be a painful process to come to the realization of our privileges or lack of. Know that Chiron's wounds are here to heal us. This pain is very useful. You can use this energy to acknowledge these wounds, and this is excellent the day before the full moon, to do this work the day before the full moon. We've been given a gift here from Chiron and Mercury in the universe to acknowledge how we're thinking and how we're speaking with our wounds before the full moon, because the full moon's going to amplify our feelings. Okay, any questions so far? I'm like just rolling through it. Seems pretty good. Making sense? Okay, love it. Okay, today also, Saturn, sextile, the moon. The moon just moved into Sagittarius this morning. Personally, I love the moon in Sagittarius, but it's pretty powerful and not everybody will love it. Saturn, sextile the moon. Sextile is like the most lovely energy. And Saturn is our earth plane teacher. So today's a great day to show how much you care for your loved ones and your friends. And you can show your emotional support through practical means. Saturn is our middle world human experience teacher, and he's very, very practical. So today is a great day that you can show up for your friends in a practical manner, especially those that are suffering. Your tasks is to provide nourishment and comfort through practical efforts like cooking a meal, getting them cozy with the blanket, providing a shoulder to cry on, or checking in on a friend who you think might need some support. You may actually feel emotionally reserved. Saturn's not like super emotional. Sagittarius is fiery but doesn't want to get all mushy on you. So there might be this restriction to want to actually engage in social situations, but showing up through practical and tangible forms are best for our love to shine through. So maybe have a little thought on what you could actually do for somebody else today to make them feel better. Do as in structure, as in Saturn, feel as in moon. You can carry out your duties and responsibilities with care and patience. It's the kind of energy that propels you to pay respect to tradition and your ancestors. So Saturn wants to ground you, wants to slow you down, and this is a way that you can show your emotions and your love is through respect. I can't believe this is all happening just today. This is just today. Okay, so Uranus is sextiling Mercury, and it's going to be like pretty much a month long. So what I'm going to share now is going to apply for a month. Uranus is ruled by Aquarius. Aquarius is the humanitarian. Uranus is ruled by Aquarius, who is all about community, the independent thinker, technology, sextiling your thoughts, Mercury, and how you communicate. So this is really good. It's going to make us think differently. It's going to make us communicate differently. We're going to start thinking for ourselves. Hopefully, this is what Uranus is sending positive energy to the mind. So even though there's some confusion today, there is over the next month this desire for us to initiate different ways of thinking and expressing ourselves. So this is how I explain it. This is an experience of our lower mind, which I call our monkey brain, and our higher mind, our higher consciousness, or how I would describe the Uranian Aquarian energy as cosmic consciousness. So Uranus, cosmic consciousness in Aquarius, like ruled by Aquarius, having good vibes and good energy to your monkey brain and how you think. So Uranus is like, it's just, you know, Aquarians are so weird. I love them, right? Like Ryan, your daughter, she's got to dress funky. It's my brother too. They don't want to dress like everybody else. They want to have their like uniqueness. Well, when Uranus is our teacher, because it's an outer planet communicating with inner planet, Mercury, how we think, he's going to throw random events at us, which will change how we think. He's going to throw like different ideas, and just it's going to come through to us like flashes of insight or a sudden spike in intuition, and information coming to us, and it will be random events that just have never happened before. So that's how the cosmic consciousness, it's detached, it's up there, it's looking down at us, and it kind of throws us curveballs and makes us kind of wake up. So this is like the next month, and I really love this energy. It can be jarring at times, but the idea of thinking independently, thinking for myself, that is in service to my community and through a humanitarian effort, this is a space that we are moving into right now. Which earlier my friend Ryan asked me, is this the age of Aquarius? And this alignment is an Aquarius energy. Uranus is ruled by Aquarius, and he's teaching us some lessons right now. But the age of Aquarius is a different concept that I'll touch on at the end. So it's a time to communicate on extraordinary topics over the next month. Aquarius, the humanitarian, and think in a variety of different ways and be that independent thinker. So I ask you, how can you think differently over the next month to enhance humanity? It's a big question. It's a big question. Yes, Nate, you have to dress special. I get it. I love you, Aquarians. They throw a little spice in our life. And again, personally, I don't put a lot of emphasis on your sun sign in your personal natal chart. I think of the sun in your natal chart as your heart-centered consciousness and your fuel source, but there's just so much more to you. You're made up of all these planets and points, and they're all in different houses. So without really looking at the chart, you know, you're made up of more than one sign, you know, for sure. Okay, how are we doing so far? Are you following me? It's a lot. We're moving into tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big day. Okay, tomorrow, June 5th, 12:12 p.m., full moon in Sagittarius. Woo woo. There is some like positives and some things that we're going to try to stay away from during this time. So I'm going to give you a heads up. Not only that, but this is a lunar eclipse. It has 10 times the potential of a full moon. And it's in Sagittarius fire sign. And this can often clear a path and help us accelerate our soul journey. Yeah, damn, there's a lot of shit. Thanks, Bronwyn. You've just said it perfectly. So it's like today's this thing and then tomorrow something completely different. There's a few energies that are tying through, but that's why 2020 is keeping us on our toes. There's been so many powerful alignments. Back to the age of Aquarius idea on the grand scheme of things. Just so you know, what we're going through right now is this Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter conjunction. All have been in Earth sign Capricorn for the last 200 years. So what is actually happening? This grand conjunction is the last of the outer planet conjunctions that are teaching us in the old ways of Earth signs with the ground, bare minerals, how we used to go into, well, we still do, but hopefully not for so much longer, into the earth and pulling up the oil, how we structure our government, how we use the patriarchal energy for systems. For the next 200 years after this one, they're in air signs. This is going to be about humanity. It's going to be about using wind and air source power. It's going to be about technology and independent thinking. So there is that shift that's coming. And Saturn's just done this thing where it's kind of tiptoed into Aquarius. And June 30th is going to go back into Capricorn to finish off the last of this 200-year cycle. So that's a big deal. We'll get there. So let's go back to what I was actually talking about. Rewind. Tomorrow, Friday, June 5th. Oh, thanks, Michaela. Yeah, the grand conjunctions that are our teachers, they get together, meet up, and cause chaos on Earth. And for the last 200 years, they just happen to have been in Earth signs. And after this one that we're going through here in 2020, they're going to shift into the teachers are going to now be in air signs, which just means more ideas, more technology, power that is of air. Yeah. So it's just we have all come to this earth at this specific time to learn these lessons, and we're all here for this major transition. So there is a lot of gratitude. There's a lot of space for karmic healing. There's a lot of space for really tough lessons to be learned, and that's part of a karmic healing. It can also propel your soul journey, your evolution. So things that are difficult, that you perceive as difficult in your monkey brain, are actually the greatest gifts for you to propel yourself forwards. We just have to pain is fucking hard. It's just hard. Ill health is hard. There's lots of things that we go through that are very, very difficult. And through the philosophy or idea of astrology is that it is here as these are things that happen to us as a space for us to learn and grow and progress the soul, for soul evolution. So 12/12, full moon in Sagittarius tomorrow. The lunar eclipse amplifies everything. Rah! Crazy sauce. This eclipse falls in Sagittarius. We're likely going to find ourselves clearing thoughts, beliefs, and ideas in order to prepare for this new journey that is yet to unfold. Oh, hey, Rich. It's been a minute. Nice to see you. So we're going to talk about this full moon tomorrow. So you can't have light if you don't have shadow. Universal wisdom. Can't argue with that. So I'm going to go over the light and the shadow of the Sagittarius, because you have an option to use them both tomorrow. So what do you want to use? Sounds like we're going back to rock bottom to grow even further. Sure, that's what Pluto's for. That's what this conjunction we're all living is for, is complete decomposition for complete rebirth. It's tough. But when you can go to the depths of the earth, down to Hades, and to realize how you want to regrow, you're not going to grow the same way you did before. I've completely let go of the idea of like normal, or how I'm going to shift my business, or how I'm going to work in the future. I'm not looking at the past. I'm looking at Aquarius. I can do a different live just on that, because that idea alone is worthy to have a discussion about. Don't get set in the mind that you're going to go back into this earth way of being. It's not like that. We're going to try for 6 months. That's the cosmic joke right now. We're going to try to go back. I'm telling you, December 17th, we go into the air, and that's it, 2.5 years there. So, shadow of the Sagittarius. Consider not going here tomorrow, okay? Scorpion, kind of like Pluto energy. Well, Pluto is ruled by Scorpio, so yes, of course. Shadow of the Sagittarius. Lies to deceive itself. The Sagittarius is about truth. It is the wisdom seeker. So if it can't handle the truth of what's actually going on, it's going to lie to itself. This is a shadow of a Sagittarius. It's something which we call light polarized-ish. This is what we were talking about yesterday. Not acknowledging the shadow. So it's just saying, oh, well, everything's going to work out as it should. Well, that's fine. But if you're always in this optimistic, positive space, you're not acknowledging the shadow or processing it. This is not a healthy way of being. Sagittarius is also about extremism. Fundamental extremism in its shadow. It doesn't really care as long as whatever it believes it charged forwards with as it's that perception or that person's lens of the truth, and they get extreme about it and they try to force their truths on others. And it is has a difficulty with just dealing with the truth. So the shadow of the Sagittarius full moon tomorrow that you do not want to step into is this restless feeling. Tomorrow on this full moon in Sagittarius, do not tell the truth if it's damaging. Remember, truth is your perception, imposing your limiting beliefs on others. The lack of courage to experience the truth. The lack of inspired vision, i.e. you cannot see the big picture, so you're going to get depressed. I think right now there is some circumstances where we can't see how we're going to get out of this, and we fall into depression. So this is the energy that I highly recommend you try to stay away from tomorrow, because on a full moon, it's going to expand and it's going to bring things kind of like the werewolves come out, right? We all come out of that shell. Let's use the light side of Sagittarius. That's the gift that's being given here, not the shadow. So what is the light? The light of the Sagittarius is discovering the truth and meaning of life. Expanding of self through vision quests. It needs adventure, and this could even just be like a spiritual workshop online right now. It is opening up to the territory in realms of truth, meaning a new level of consciousness. To be bold, to go where others haven't. Sagittarius will charge up the mountain that has never been hiked in search for the truth. To be open, to be optimistic for that. To be continuously expanding. Thanks, Ryan, for logging on. Enjoy the journey. This is going to be a difficult one right now. And just so we know, the Sagittarius wants to be free and travel. We're not supposed to travel right now. And I'm going to tell you why. So, this is a different concept. This isn't the moon. This is about the nodes of the moon, the south node and the north node. So currently our south node is in Sagittarius collectively for all of humanity. That means that's where we were in the past. Sagittarius rules our beliefs. Where we want to go is towards the Gemini, and that's the north node right now. Gemini wants to understand. So do not get caught up in your beliefs. Start propelling yourself forwards to truly understand. The Gemini is curious. The south node represents the past and the north where we are going. So it's important not to step into the shadow of the Sagittarius right now, as it will pull us back to where we have been coming from. It will not propel us forwards. The full moon in Sag is for us to release this fiery energy, for us to release these beliefs that maybe we've held onto for so long, to be open to real truth, not our truth, right? And to go from a sense of what I believe, as in religion or something structured that we've kind of been told. Not that religion is bad, just like kind of that belief structure, and just be open to truly understanding and to get curious and to open the mind. So the Gemini is, let me go into the light of the Gemini, because maybe that can inspire us. And this is going to be the energy for the next 2.5 years. So during the Saturn and Aquarius phase that we're going to deal with, we're also going to have our north node, our direction in Gemini, 2 air signs. And so the nature of Gemini is analytical. It's an analytical mind. It has lots of thoughts, and it's rules communication. It wants reality beyond rationality, to truly understand, not to just believe like the Sagittarius. Believing is not enough. The experience of going beyond the linear process, like I like to say, it's like a spark plug. This is your thoughts. This is good. And with Aquarius, we're going to try to think independently. We need to have our freedom. And some of my friends have said they felt like their freedom taken away for them in this process of isolation. And I went into myself, and with all these expectations kind of taken off my shoulders, and that I could actually just be present, even though I was locked in a room, I've never felt so free. I could be free with my thoughts and with my ideas and with my opinions, and I didn't have to show up for anybody but myself. And that was a space of freedom. So there is always freedom, even if we can't go globe-trotting across the world like the Sagittarius wants us to. Gemini, it's spontaneous, and it can create something brilliant. And they are the greatest storytellers. So if you guys want to communicate well, storytelling is an awesome way of getting these ideas out there that are tangible for others. This is what Gemini is so good for. So I'm going to sum this up. The full moon is round and completely illuminated. It represents completion, the height of power, the realization of your desires, the peak of clarity. It is a time to celebrate your growth, to take note of what process you have made and to reflect on how far you have come. The full moon tomorrow is going to be completely full at 12:12 p.m. in the afternoon. It's a spiritual and energetic pinnacle of whatever you started when the sun and the moon united at the new moon in Gemini. Think back to the new moon, which was May 22nd. So if you have a calendar or a journal, if you look back to May 22nd, on the new moon, we kind of set our intentions, and on the full moon is when they kind of come into reality, the expansion can happen. If you're present at the full moon at 12:12 here in Pacific Standard Time and want to connect with the energy, writing a simple note or a letter or even a checklist to acknowledge what you want to release and what you want to enhance. So maybe that they're two different pieces of paper. Some people will burn the thing that they want to release, and maybe you hold on to the one that you want to hold dear to your heart and how you want to expand. The number 12 is an important one. It's space not to be hindered by old habits. Habits that need to change is what 12 represents. It tells you to look to new experiences with optimism. This is the beauty of the Sag full moon. This alignment with the Sag full moon at 12:12 is absolutely incredible. So if you have the opportunity to make those notes and to do your own personal ceremony for yourself at that time, it will bring in a lot of favorable and positive effects. It's a very powerful moment. I'm personally probably going to be on the Gabriel Ferry, so I'm going to do my thing in the evening around 9:30 at night with my girlfriends here on Gabriola. You know, like there is, if you miss that time, it's okay. But if you can do it at that time, it's just extra special. So 12 signifies completion. It also belongs to the star sign of Pisces. Pisces rules the 12th house. And it's known to be the ruler of spirituality, the space of God, and the one who knows grief and compassion the best. We haven't figured out exactly how we're going to do our full moon thing. Just when you have multiple people, even if it's like from a social distancing standpoint, everybody's on their own journey. So definitely setting an intention before you start your ceremony to personally have your own list and to find a ritual that works for you, whatever allows you, because this is 12:12, to step into spirituality. I would say it's the best. If you like breath work or meditation or singing or poetry or writing or dancing or just putting on some music and feeling it, you're going to make your own ritual around this full moon and any full moon that works for you, because we're each individual on what really works for us. So this is tomorrow, a powerful day, full moon. Guess what? Okay, so Mars is the god of war, and he's having a lot of conversations tomorrow. So on top of the full moon in Sagittarius, fire sign, we got Mars, who's ruled by Aries, fire sign, having some conversations with these inner planets. This is what really sent me into, oh my gosh, I need to get this information out there, because not properly managed could be a little bit scary. Okay. Moon squares Mars. So they're making a right angle to each other. So this, because the moon moves fast, it's not going to be squared for too long. So this is just tomorrow. Brings simmering emotional anger to the surface. So care is required to avoid being hurt or causing emotional hurt on others. God of war, having a difficult conversation with emotions. So avoid being hurt or causing emotional harm to others. This pain can be felt emotionally, but it can also be felt physically by you or another. So if you feel like physical harm could happen to you, or you might impose it on others, consider staying home tomorrow. There is a danger when taking risks or acting impulsively. However, holding on to anger and frustration is not advised. So the key to handling this kind of quick emotional anger is To release it in a controlled way, I say work out. I mean, that works for me. This is a great to do some high intensity type of workout for yourself. It's not a time to be overly defensive or mean when people are sharing their feelings with you. So let's go back to being curious like a Gemini. When we're triggered or we get emotionally caught up, go back and say, I want to step into a state of curiosity. Don't go to the shadow of the Sagittarius, truth bombing your beliefs and being extreme. That energy is not going to serve us right now. Courage is needed to face what is making us feel threatened. That's tomorrow. Also, tomorrow and Saturday, Mars is squaring Venus, our feminine energy, our beautiful, delightful feminine energy. So the god of war, masculine, and the god of love, Venus, are just having a little argument. So what does that mean for the next 2 days? This transit is also associated with anger and a lack of self-control and impulsiveness. So if you're already impatient or aggressive kind of person, try not to lose your temper. I say the key word for this is compromise. It will help you avoid hostility. You might also have a tendency to agree with anything just to get your way. This is not going to benefit you, obviously. That's just kind of a thing in life. Yeah, Bronwyn, I know, right? There are other ways to safely express your frustration. Physical tension can be released in other productive ways. I'm sure, Bronwyn, you can think of a couple of ways that you could do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or exercise, or you could channel this energy into great creative work. So this is like if your expression is dance, you put on that kind of nasty song, that hard-hitting song, and you kind of let it out. You know, if you sing, you're going to belt it out. This is not a song, like dreamy kind of feeling. You're going to let it out. Boxing, running, HIIT classes. These are beneficial ways, but always a good time to get out the aggression. Same for, yeah, Jen, you've got it. Yeah, you've got it. Be careful when you're getting a partner involved in that, and that they're equally cool to participate in that moment with that kind of energy. You know what I mean? Okay, moving on. Mars is also squaring the sun. So our egos are having a difficult conversation with a god of war. Awesome. Sun squares Mars transit can lead to test our character. Sun, the ego, our life force energy, our fuel, squaring with the god of war. This is going to be a space where you're going to want to get mad at the man. You're going to want to get mad at your boss or anybody that you believe is your enemy. And generally, men in general, actually, men can be looking, and not that women can't, but this is just extra energy on that side, is you'll be looking to assert their power. And within astrology, they base the female and male energy as in we both have both energies within us. But when I say male or female, it's what I've learned is that I'm speaking in the gender you were born. It doesn't matter the gender you currently are in, or that you have, if you've transitioned or anything like that. So just for clarity on there, that if you were born male, this might be a time where you might find more conflict or the masculine energy within the female. You're going to be looking to assert your power and to lead to ego conflicts, and you might be irritable, impatient, and likely to react to any provocation or threats of aggression. Not only people, but challenging events may force you to defend your goals and desires. A defensive position is advised. This is not a time for offensive positions. Defensive positions if necessary. This is certainly no time for initiating conflict or asserting your ego. Do not go on the offensive because your strength and courage are at a low point. With the idea of safety first, it is better to seek a compromise or retreat if your goals are being challenged. This transit can lead to a potentially destructive energy that needs to be channeled constructively so they do not result in harsh conflicts. The best way to deal with this for the next 20 days is to burn up your aggression with physical activity. So let's get in shape. Does that sound okay, gang? Okay. Moving on, Neptune squares the sun. So Neptune, our teacher of creativity and drunk goggles, are having a difficult conversation with our ego as well. So there's a lot of confusion and a lot of anger, as you can see. So I think of like how I want to sum this up is to express yourself, to tap into what feels good artistically or creatively and really get in there, because like anger and grief and pain is such a good fuel for your artistry and your creativity. To be careful with your sexual desires, that your partner is participating fully, and that if you do get aggressive, to take that out physically, as in doing push-ups or a HIIT class or a sexy Brahmin dance class, right? Like we have to be conscious of where we're directing our energy. That in this full moon, we're not stepping into the shadow and putting our beliefs on other people and shaming them, that we're helping them step into love and courage so they can start understanding not just their belief systems. So Mars is going to trine Mercury. So this is a good thing. So the god of war is going to have a pleasant conversation with how we think, you know, and like overall, this is going to help us charge forwards with our ideas and so that we can communicate. So this is why artistic expression is so important right now. So that's kind of the 5th. So we're going to step into Saturday the 6th. There's not that much going on, so I'm just going to make 2 little notes. At 11:10 a.m. on Saturday morning, when you wake up, the moon is going to conjunct the south node. So your emotions are going to be in alignment with the past. There's a tendency to get stuck in a negative emotional pattern with the feelings that will never end. So when you wake up on Saturday morning, remember that the moon will pass this, that you aren't stuck in the past, and you have the ability to move forwards. By 12:44 in the afternoon on Saturday, the moon will be out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn. We're going to feel less fiery, less emotional, and hopefully more grounded. I really love it when the moon steps into Capricorn because I don't cry on those days, personally. So that's a benefit of Saturday. So then we move into Sunday, so June 7th. Pluto, the teacher of decomposition and rebirth, is going to conjunct line up with that moon. So this is going to be a short transit just on Sunday. This is going to bring such deep feelings that can overwhelm you. A personal interaction or event may trigger a memory or emotion buried deep in your subconscious. You can become obsessed about your feelings and have trouble focusing on anything else. So now Sunday is a time to rebirth how we feel. Choose wisely and consciously. When your mind gets pulled down and your feelings get pulled down on Sunday, you're going to choose how you're going to rebirth them. Pluto's journey down into Hades sucks, but the rebirth is like an experience that you've never had before. So Sunday we will get pulled down, and we're going to have the ability to come out of this on Sunday with a completely new way. So choose wisely and consciously of how you want your feelings and your emotions to be rebirthed. And on Sunday, Neptune conjunct Mars. So this transit can make you feel romantic and sensual, or paranoid and disillusioned. Be extra sensitive on Sunday. You should avoid negative environments, especially if there's spaces where violence or crime or drugs are prevalent. A positive look forwards, including more energy and enthusiasm, are coming. This is the time to chase your dreams and to hit your spiritual goals, because Neptune is spiritual and dreamy and creative. So the intention is for you to, with that energy, is to I would say with Neptune conjunct Mars, is not a day to do drugs. Okay, that's the god of war with the god of getting lost in spiritual space. So you're going to get pulled out far enough on your own. I don't want you to go so far out that you get lost. So that is today's energies that are flowing from today through Sunday. So I want to open up the conversation to answer any specific question, because that was a lot of information that I just threw out at you all. It's 45 minutes in, and that was a lot of listening. So thank you for those of you who did join in. Yeah, any specific questions? Anybody, throw them at me. If not, I mean, have a fabulous weekend and use this opportunity, because these are all opportunities. Get into your sensitivity, get into your emotions. Let go of beliefs that you don't need to hold on to anymore. Move forwards with curiosity and try to find true understanding. To lead with love and compassion always. What is Pluto conjunct with on Saturday? Pluto is conjunct with the moon. So the moon moves very fast. Every 28 days it goes around the chart. So it will be a very short and brief conjunction, but it will happen. Can I get a Coles Notes version of this and the key times, please? I do have a private astrology group on Facebook where I put everything. So Jen, I can add you into that. If you're curious in joining my study group, I do have a private study group. I'm not really teaching astrology, but I'm holding space once a month for Zoom calls where we do talk about how to read a chart and how it affects, like, how we can interpret it for ourselves. Yeah, of course. And I can do a one-on-one chart reading if anybody is interested on that. But other than that, I feel very honored that so many of you have logged on. I really sending you all the most love for this weekend, and keep those, emotions. Choose consciously where you want to direct your emotions. And share that love and courage that uplift each other online, because vibrationally stepping down into shame and fear is really low on the emotional vibrational scale, and we can all go there very quickly and get angry. So we can lift each other up. Thank you so much, Kelsey. We just finished our 45 minutes. Nice to see you, babe. Kelsey's another one, an amazing astrologer from Bali. Okay, have a wonderful day. You can DM me if you have any other questions. Bye-bye.